In 1759, on the island of Mauritius, the body of a slave falls into the sea. As she sinks, she prays for her husband, Samba, never to give up and to fight for their people's freedom. The next day, a group of slaves, including Samba, work on Eugene's plantation. With just 2 weeks left before harvest, Eugene orders Samba to watch the others and make sure no one slacks off. He also calls him Cicero instead of using his real name. This makes another slave see Samba as a traitor. That night, Samba teaches his daughter Maddie to read and write. Maddie interrupts to say her friend Ruba showed her a southwest path that leads to Fibumi, a secret village where runaway slaves hide. She wants to escape, but Samba forbids it, insisting Fibumi is only a myth. Their fears grow when they see a guard capturing a runaway outside. The next morning, Eugene and his guards catch another slave trying to flee. Since it's her first attempt, they burn a lily mark into her back. If she tries again, her ears and tendons will be cut. Samba must translate this warning for the others. Another man, caught for a second time, loses his ears. Eugene tells Samba to remind them that a third attempt means death. That night, Samba finds Maddie having a panic attack after a guard abuses her. He holds her and prays until she calms down. She then urges him to kill their masters and lead the other slaves to freedom. Samba refuses and calls her Colette, a name she hates. She doesn't want to lose her culture, but Samba believes that blending in could help her find work as a seamstress far from the plantation. Later, Samba is summoned to the main house, where Eugene is dining with important guests. The governor, aware Samba speaks both languages, asks for his help to understand the slaves and whether they should be freed. Afraid, Samba replies that black people exist only to serve. The governor is offended, and Eugene quickly dismisses him. Eugene's son, Honoré, explains he taught Samba because he realized some slaves were rebelling and saw that black people were human too. The governor mentions Madame La Victoire, a woman who hunts runaway slaves and disagrees with Honoré's views. A heated argument about slavery breaks out, and Eugene silences Honoré to avoid trouble. The governor now doubts Eugene's control over the area. After the guests leave, Eugene slaps Honoré for speaking out. He then tells Samba he's losing all privileges. He will cut cane like everyone else and live apart from Maddie. She will stay under Eugene's roof, and if Samba resists, she'll be killed. When Maddie learns this, she tries to take her own life, but Samba stops her and sends her to the house. Moments later, barking dogs and screaming erupt. Samba runs outside to find a burning guard, but Maddie is gone. The guards say she ran away and sent him back to his room. The next morning, Eugene hears they couldn't find Maddie. He orders them to call Madame La Victoire and forces Honoré to join the search to restore the family's reputation. Honoré agrees, but asks for better treatment of Maddie if she's caught. Samba is tied down and whipped, but he insists he knows nothing. Madame La Victoire arrives with her sons, Joseph and Baptiste. She refuses Eugene's payment and questions Samba, saying she'll bring Maddie back alive for punishment. He still claims ignorance. They then bring in Ruba, who is pregnant, and dig a hole for her belly before tying her up. One strike to her feet makes her confess that Maddie went searching for Fibumi. Hearing this, Victoire recalls the legend and sets out with her sons and Honoré. Using Maddie's clothes, a dog follows her scent into the forest, where Victoire finds signs that Maddie met someone and left with them. Hours later, the trail disappears, but they spot a distant hill and decide to watch from there. Back on the plantation, Samba is locked in a tiny cell with a chain mask on his head. He begs Ruba for help, but she ignores him until later when she distracts the dogs with food and secretly frees him. Samba escapes through the fields unnoticed. The next day, Victoire's sons think the search is pointless, but she urges patience. Meanwhile, Samba reaches the forest and stops at a river to drink, struggling with the mask. After breaking the lock with a rock, he removes it and uses branches to track the right path to his daughter. That night, Victoire scolds Honoré for eating like a savage and makes everyone pray. She says God has guided her through her darkest moments. Honoré already knows her story. She was abused as a child, forced into an unwanted marriage as a teen, and became the first divorced woman on the island. He believes she understands the slave's suffering and should be compassionate, but Victoire insists the church teaches that black people have no souls. She doesn't feel it's her place to question the church, but Honoré can tell she has doubts. That night, Mas Samba dreams of his wife lying beside him. The next day, Mas Samba climbs the hill, spotted by Victoire. As he wanders through the trees, he hears a sound and meets a black man named Kabidi, who offers to guide him. A black woman carrying a baby is also with them, and together they hide from Victoire's group, who have entered the woods searching for them. The baby starts crying, and Baptiste hears the noise, forcing the slaves to run. They don't get far, so Kabidi hides the mother and hands Mas Samba one of his blades. When Baptiste gets close, he fires, but the slaves dodge the shot. Mas Samba tackles him to the ground, trying to knock him out, but freezes when Honoré suddenly calls his name and tells him to surrender. Kabidi appears behind Honoré and swiftly slashes his neck, killing him. He urges Mas Samba to do the same, then runs to hide. Mas Samba looks at Baptiste but can't bring himself to kill him, so he flees. Joseph chases after him, but Mas Samba runs as fast as he can until a black man named Rado tackles him and helps him find a hiding spot. After Joseph leaves, the men continue on, and Rado explains he's searching for the Fabumi village. They stop at a cave, where Rado shares his small portion of food and a clean shirt, then tells the story of his uniform. He once fought for France and was granted citizenship, but upon arriving on the island, his freedom papers were burned, and he was forced toward slavery. Meanwhile, Victoire tends to Honoré's body. Baptiste remarks that the slaves spared him, as a good Christian would, but his words are not well received by his family. Victoire spends the night praying. In the morning, she claims the Lord is protecting them and insists they continue the hunt. Baptiste refuses to pursue the man who spared his life and instead chooses to return Honoré's body to his father. Enraged, Joseph attacks his brother, and they wrestle on the ground while Victoire watches silently. After a struggle, Baptiste overpowers Joseph and leaves the forest with Honoré's body. Mas Samba resumes his journey, following signs in the dirt and plants to find his daughter. When Rado tries to leave the cave, Joseph shoots him in the leg to stop him. He squeezes the wound while questioning him with Victoire about Maddie and Mas Samba. Rado refuses to answer, declaring the island belongs to black people. Victoire shoots him in the head. Searching the cave, they find Miss Samba's old shirt, allowing the dog to track his scent. Within minutes, the dog locates Mas Samba crossing a river and leaps to attack him, not realizing a waterfall is behind them. Both plunge into the lake below. Mas Samba swims hard, but the dog catches up and bites his arm. In pain, he pushes the dog away, grabs a rock, and smashes its head until it is dead. At the top of the waterfall, Joseph and Victoire watch as Mas Samba slips away into the forest. For hours, he wanders through the woods, following any trail he can find. Eventually, he's forced to rest because he's losing too much blood. In the pouring rain, Victoire and Joseph continue searching and find their first real lead when they spot blood on a tree. That night, Mas Samba dreams of his wife again. She gives him encouraging words, blessing him and promising to guide him. The next day, he reaches the beach and discovers the bodies of dead slaves scattered on the sand and in the water. A wrecked boat lies nearby, showing that the storm stopped their escape to Madagascar. Mas Samba checks each body but doesn't find Maddie, so he returns to the forest. Following a strange sound, he comes across a few survivors. He asks about Maddie, but before they can answer, he collapses from pain and grief. The men help him up and take him to a cave near the beach where women are hiding. There, he finally sees Maddie and runs to embrace her, but she barely reacts. Mas Samba tells her he'll help find Fabumi, which makes her smile and hug him back. After they leave together, Victoire and Joseph reach the beach, find the bodies, and follow Miss Samba's footprints in the sand. This forces Mas Samba and Maddie to hide. Maddie says she's tired of hiding, and Mas Samba agrees they should make a plan. That night, Mas Samba performs a traditional ritual, renewing his vow to his wife and asking for strength to face his enemies. As moonlight shifts across him, he hears his wife's voice telling him they are now one, just before it begins to rain. Meanwhile, Victoire and Joseph camp for the night. When Victoire hears a noise, she pushes Joseph down moments before a blade swings through the darkness. Mother and son grab their weapons and stumble in the dark, searching for the attacker. Joseph hears something and fires, revealing his position. Mas Samba uses the moment to slash him before vanishing again. Victoire rushes to Joseph's side and sees he's in unbearable pain, so she stabs him to end his suffering. She hides behind a tree but steps out again when she spots Mas Samba nearby. Using lightning for cover, Victor circles around and shoots him in the shoulder from behind. She pulls out her knife to finish him, but he's gone. She starts praying in fear until Mas Samba appears behind her and stabs her to death. That night, Mas Samba dreams of his wife killing Eugene with a spear. In the morning, Maddie wakes her father from a trance and helps him walk, but his dizziness makes him collapse again. Maddie falls to her knees, crying for help. Her calls draw the attention of slaves who recently escaped Eugene's plantation and are searching for Fabumi. Maddie joins them, and together they carry Mas Samba as they continue their search. After hours of trekking through the woods, they finally reach the legendary village in the hills. A healer quickly prepares an ointment, applies it to Masamba's wounds, and prays over him. This treatment restores his strength and relieves his pain. That night, the villagers welcome Mas Samba and Maddie, discussing cultural differences since many were born on the island rather than in Africa. Mas Samba shares stories of his tribe and how his wife was killed aboard a colonizer's ship for refusing slavery. Maddie talks about the tales her mother told her and how she managed to smile at her daughter before dying. The next day, while bathing in the lake, Maddie sees her mother watching from afar. That evening, the villagers spot flames in the distance, signaling hunters are coming. Gunfire erupts as the white men attack, capturing some slaves. The group runs across a large field, but is stopped by a cliff, allowing the colonizers to trap them. Through a translator, a man says the governor will spare them if they surrender. Mas Samba declares he wants a life without chains or masters, inspiring Maddie to sing a traditional song. The villagers join her before ending their own lives, choosing death over slavery.